Hi guys, 4A Players here, and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today, guys, we're going to be doing the North Melbourne fixture reaction. Alright guys, now we've done most teams. We're going to be finishing the fixture reaction series up very soon, probably only about a week or so left. And yeah, today, North Melbourne, as I said, and yeah, this should be a good one. And yeah, we've got only a couple of teams left until the end, as I just said. We've done all the teams before North Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, Fremantle, Geelong, Gold Coast, GWS, Hawthorn and Melbourne, so make sure to go ahead and check those videos out. There's a playlist where you can access them all as well. But yeah, fixture reaction, we're going to be hopping into it. It's going to be the same as always. Easiest and hardest part of the fixtures, predicting every game, and a rough amount of wins in a rough ladder position. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now for North Melbourne, they could definitely be an improving side in 2022. So we'll have to wait and see how they go. First up, off the bat, they have Hawthorn, which this definitely has the ability of being a very good game. This one, now I will say that I do think Hawthorn are a more strong team than North Melbourne, so I do think they'll take it out. Hawthorn, so I'm going to say Hawthorn by about 15 points. It's probably going to be a very good game though. And again, one that could definitely go either way. In round 2, another game that could definitely go either way is North Melbourne versus West Coast. Now this is held at Marvel Stadium, of course, North Melbourne's home ground or semi-home ground. I think this is going to be a really good game. So for both of these, like if you're a North Melbourne or a West Coast fan, very good game here. Now, I am going to say North Melbourne are going to take it out by the slightest of margins possible. Probably around that 5 to 10 point margin in that game over the West Coast. That's going to be an absolute cracker though. So, yeah, it's going to be a good game, that one, especially because like over in the West last year, North Melbourne defeated West Coast. So maybe this one could be a blowout as well. It could definitely be a blowout considering West Coast have problems away from home and they could be worse. Or they could be even better this year. So, yeah, they could be better away from home and actually come out and win these games. And, yeah, they could. So, again, West Coast could definitely go either way. Brisbane, North Melbourne. Now, this one's a pretty simple one. Yeah, Brisbane by about 70 points. Now Sydney, North Melbourne, SCG again. It's going to be a big win for Sydney. Sydney by 50 points. North Melbourne, Western Bulldogs, Marvel Stadium. Oh man, Western Bulldogs by about 80 points. North Melbourne versus Geelong, Blunston Arena. Again, pretty simple. Geelong by about 45 points. Now here we go, back into some sort of relevance for North, a game that they could win up against Carlton. Now it's actually a prime time of this time under lights, Marvel Stadium. Could be a closed roof, could be an open roof. Either way, it's going to be a good game and it's going to be a prime timer. Now I do see North Melbourne definitely having the ability to take this one out, and I'm going to say they are going to take it out. So North Melbourne to take it out by about 10 points. I just think North Melbourne this year, I feel like they're going to be not a different... No, I'm going to change my tip to Carlton, actually. I'm going to change my tip to Carlton. Carlton by 10 points. It's going to be a good game, though. Fremantle, North Melbourne. Fremantle, I'm expecting them to be a very, very, very better side this year. Definitely top 8 worthy. So, really, this is the game that you must win, Fremantle. So, I'm going to say Fremantle by 40 points. And now, Saturday, May 14, round 9, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Blunston Arena. Again, this is just not going their way right now for North Melbourne. And, well, of course, it is a simple win to Port Adelaide by 50 points. Now, into the uncertain part of the fixture now. We have North Melbourne taking on Marvel Stadium. No, they're not taking on Marvel Stadium. No, North Melbourne taking on Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. I cannot speak right now for some reason. Yeah, North Melbourne taking on Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. Now again, we all know how this one should go, unless if there's a shock upset, which there could be, but like I just don't think it's going to be in this one. I think Melbourne are going to be able to take it out by about 50 points. Now, St Kilda, North Melbourne, Marvel Stadium. Look, St Kilda are another team that could potentially be making the top 8 this year, so for St Kilda, this is a must-win. I reckon they're going to win it by 30 points. Now, On to Gold Coast North Melbourne TRO Stadium. This could be another good game. Now, again, could definitely go either way. I am more leaning to North Melbourne as well. Hugh Greenwood going up against his former team. Now, of course, it's going to be very, very interesting because, if you've not been asleep over the off-season, you will know that the Gold Coast delisted Hugh Greenwood, right? They were gonna re-pick him up in the draft, and he was just so high class that any club could have done this, and the club that did this was North Melbourne. They came in and they swooped Hugh Greenwood, and now Hugh Greenwood is a North Melbourne player, all because of a silly mistake made by Gold Coast. And you could have done that to another player and had the chance of keeping them, but Hugh Greenwood in particular, he's that good of a player, and you pretty much, you give him for free to another club. It just doesn't make really a lot of sense. So for Gold Coast, it's going to be an annoying game for them. And for North Melbourne, for Hugh Greenwood as well, this is going to be a very interesting clash. Of course, at a very neutral ground as well. North Melbourne, I reckon, are going to win this one by 10 points. And Hugh Greenwood will have bragging rights over his former team. Now, on to North Melbourne North Melbourne GWS Marble Stadium, GWS by 35 points. Again, another team worthy making the 8. North Melbourne Adelaide Blunston Arena could go either way. I think North Melbourne do have the chance of taking this one out. Although I do think Adelaide are a better team, so I'm going to say Adelaide by 10 points. Now Geelong North Melbourne, Geelong by 50 points. Collingwood North Melbourne. Collingwood by 20 points. I still think Collingwood are going to be not a decent team, but they're going to be a good team. Like, not a good team, but they're going to be a good team this year. Definitely outside the bottom 4, I reckon. I reckon they should be outside the bottom 4. And I reckon North Melbourne will be inside the bottom 4. Now, on to North Melbourne Richmond, which this is going to be. Richmond taking this one out by 35 points. Again, another worthy team making the 8 this year, Richmond. There's plenty of teams that want to press their case for making the 8, so if you want to do that, you've got to make sure that you're pressing your case strongly. North Melbourne, Hawthorn, Blunston Arena. This is going to be North Melbourne's game. They're going to win it by 10 points. Essendon, North Melbourne, Marble Stadium, Essendon by 45 points. I reckon Essendon are going to be very strong in this game. And again, another team pushing for the 8 this year. You can't be dropping simple games against the Roos like this, or against the Suns, or against the Crows. You cannot be dropping those games, especially if you're looking to make the 8. Every game, every margin counts. Every point counts. Now, North Melbourne, Sydney. This is the final hard. Well, there is a couple of other hard games, but North Melbourne, Sydney is the final real hard game. Sydney will take it out by 45 points. I reckon Adelaide will beat North Melbourne by 30 points on Adelaide's home deck, and then I reckon North Melbourne can finish off their season with a nice win over the Gold Coast Suns by 25 points. So now that we've got that, the hardest part of the fixture probably has to be from here. So I'm going to say from about round 3 all the way down to round 11. Because they've only got a game against Carlton in there, which is a winnable game, but I do think Carlton will win that game. So I think that's their hardest part of the fixture now. Going back over, we're going to count up the wins now. Right. 1. We've got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Got 2, we've got 3. We've got 3, 4, 5. So 5 wins for North Melbourne. So I'm going to say anywhere for North would be 4 to 7 wins in 2022, which shouldn't have them on the bottom. I don't know if I can see them really being bottom, but I'm going to say that's going to get you anywhere from about 15th to 18th in 2022. So bottom 4 for North Melbourne this year. And I do understand that. I do still think they're going to be in the bottom 4 for just a little bit, maybe this year. Well, this year and maybe next year as well. But easiest part of the fixture is probably going to be, again, most teams have this, but they've got like little one game, like where they've got, especially for these lower teams that are going to have more losses than wins, and for a team that may only have 4 to 6 wins, or 4 to 7 wins, you don't really have those pockets where it's easy. You don't really have long runs where it's easy. You more have long runs where it's harder. Compared to if you're doing a team like Port Adelaide or Melbourne or Geelong, you've got an easy, and then you can't really find a harder part of the fixture. So that's going to wrap up today's fixture reaction. So for North Melbourne, it's probably going to be another bottom 4 year for them, which is unfortunate. But they've got a young team. So realistically, they're on a rebuild. They should be working their way out very soon. But yeah, for North Melbourne in 2022, I still have them finishing in the bottom 4. But yeah, and 4 to 7 wins. But I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, so then you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and bye guys. Fire plays out.